earlier this year on our trip through Kentucky, we stopped by Bardstown, and I had a pour of oh goodness, I just looked it up. What was it?
Discovery number 10.
Discovery number 11. I had number 11. You had number 10. Mm-hmm. And boy, howdy, that was absolutely amazing. And you picked up this bottle. Mm-hmm. And
exclusive,
a distillery exclusive, and yeah, I remember we were too late for the cathedral, but we definitely picked up this one, and
more about that in a minute.
But while we were out there and we were at Bardstown, we realized that we've been sleeping on Bardstown, so we need to get into it, and we're going to get into it throughout the course of the year.
Let's fanboy on it right now,
starting with this bottle on Savor the Burn. Let's go. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of the Savor the Burn podcast. My name is Jonathan. Across the barrels from me, it's Mr. W2. How do you do, sir?
Doing pretty fantastic, and I'm so stoked to get into this bottle. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right, because I'm also stoked to get into this one. I mean, we haven't done anything Bardstown.
So that trip that we did to Kentucky,
yeah.
I found myself collecting socks at every distillery that had socks available. I was collecting socks, and this was one of them that has a black pair of socks with their yellow barrel with the B in the middle logo all over them. And you
see that all over this bottle.
I love those, but I was so impressed. You pull up, absolutely beautiful campus.
Yeah,
they have amazing glass-fronted rick houses, and just an incredible tap room and visitors welcome center, and everything about it is top-notch. Earlier today, I was like, we've only had the one pour. We haven't even reviewed anything on the podcast. I'm kind of in love with this distillery already.
Yeah. And we've heard nothing but good things from fellow whiskey enthusiasts.
Their bottles are just gorgeous and elegant, and I love the screen printing of the corn on the back side of it, which then shows through because their label is minimal and down below, so you see the stalks of corn creeping up over the label, through the golden color, all the things. We were there, and lo and behold, right up by the register, they had a barrel sitting there with these bottles on there. Distillery exclusive single barrel offering. Guess who could not go home without one? So here we are.
Yep, and here you are. So thank you for joining us on this episode of Savor the Burn. If you want to follow along here on YouTube or your favorite podcast app of choice, please do so. Stupid stutters, whatever. Anyway, click follow, like, subscribe, click the bell notification to stay up to date on all things Savor the Burn, and check out the liquor cabinet on savortheburn.com. It's easy to do. Go to savortheburn.com, whatever works.
Anyway, pull that tab and let's get this bottle opened up, and I'll read some things.
Yeah, you talk. Excuse me. Yeah, you talk, I'll pour.
I like it. And I'm also, because with this being our first bottle, I am eager to see, is this a natural cork or is this a composite cork?
Right, yeah, we have no idea. I don't see anything. You see anything?
Inquiring minds want to know.
I don't know. Do you see anything?
No, but I see the B logo, the Bardstown logo
right there
on the bottom. Look at that thick bottom on there. It's a gorgeous bottle. I mean, it's nice. It's modern. It's minimal. It's elegant. It's if it had fish nuts.
An elegant goth chicken fish nuts. Oh, look at that. It carries through. Look at that barrel with the B on the top. Let's see what we got. Pause for bottle pop. Yeah. Sounded composite.
That's all right. This is the Bardstown Bourbon Company single barrel strength Distiller's Reserve Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey.
Barrel strength. Okay.
Barrel strength. Yep. Aged 6 years at 110 proof. Mash bill on this is 70% corn, 18% rye, 12% barley. Curiosity can lead you to some incredible places. It's what called us to Kentucky in 2016 to build a distillery like no other, and we haven't stopped innovating since. From our glass rick houses to our Napa Valley style tour, we need to go back just to find out what that means. We're pushing the boundaries of bourbon like no one has before. Not because we're particularly fond of bending the rules, but rather to reimagine what the category could be. One that's more innovative, transparent, and collaborative. Because if you want to create an entirely new bourbon experience, you can never stop exploring, never stop discovering, never stand still. Bardstown Bourbon Company's single barrel bourbon expression is a bespoke offering, presenting the world's highest rated bourbon at cask strength, sourced from hand-selected barrels across our rick houses. Each selection features unique sensory characteristics. Aged a minimum of 6 years, single barrel bourbon bursts with robust and complex flavors, showcasing the quality and dedication we put into every barrel.
I would believe it. You remember when we were there in that bar area, in the tasting room area, and then up on that wall they had the different panels, the different monitors with telling us what's going on, and column still A,
right,
and
in real time.
That was pretty wild.
Yeah, you got to see it like a diagram picture of the entire distillery workflow. But then it was real time, showing you what was in the column, what was in the tanks, what was in, every aspect of production.
So this is single barrel.
Oh man!
So it's not a blend.
Nope.
Did you already go over what is in it?
Yes. Mash bill is 70% corn, 18% rye, and 12% barley.
Okay. No wheat at all.
No wheat at all. Just a traditional bourbon mash bill.
Yeah.
With the exception 70% corn, so it is higher than your minimum standard.
And it smells sweet, caramel, like brown sugar kind of.
Yeah.
I swear, does it?
Molasses?
I don't know what's going on here with me, but are you picking up, and call me crazy, are you picking up again any of that dill / clove? I'm not crazy. Anything?
And I'm not crazy either.
That'd be me. Yeah. Like I don't. Are you picking that up?
I'm not, crazy.
I'm not crazy, comma.
I'm not. But there is a grassy note to that.
Grassy?
So yeah.
It's got to be the malt.
12% barley, malted barley is going to give you a little bit of a grassy note to it.
All right, so maybe
there's a nice rye spice to that.
My olfactories are getting a little confused then.
With 70% corn, it's not high rye.
No.
But 18% rye is a healthy amount of rye.
Solid, yeah. Are you picking up rye though on the nose?
Oh yeah.
I'm like, oh man, a touch of chocolate.
Yep. Maybe some milk chocolate.
Yeah.
Some caramel.
Yep.
Some vanilla, usual suspects. A little bit of barrel char. Nice 6-year color.
Yeah, 6 years. So remember back with
it says 6-year minimum, but it is 6 years is what it's labeled as.
The Baker 7. That's when I really started to pay attention to how long these bourbons have been in a barrel, or these whiskeys have spent time in a barrel. And that one, the one that we tried here on the podcast, was 7 years, 8 months.
Right.
And it's going to be at least 7 years.
Yep.
So that's when I started paying attention, and then I've noticed that your minimum requirement for it to be a bourbon is what, 2 years?
There is no minimum
3.
requirement.
There's no minimum.
No. But to that point though, if you're under 2 years, you have to put an age statement on it. Which is why that Balcones, not a bourbon, but it's a rye. The Balcones Texas rye, the first one we did had an age statement of 1 year, 6 months or something like that. And that's because if it's under 2 years, it has to have an age statement. If it's over 2 years, it is a straight bourbon or straight rye. But it does not need an age statement. So you have all these bourbons out there, you have all these ryes out there with no age statement. if the word straight is in the title of it, you know it's at least 2 years.
Okay. All right.
I'm ready to get this on the palate.
Yeah, let's do it.
There's that rice spice.
Yeah, and the bite. There's a bite on the palate from the proof.
You got a little bit of sourdough, some coriander. You got maybe a little bit of cinnamon, some clove and nutmeg. I'll just say baking spice because it's kind of everything.
I'd say nutmeg, cinnamon and nutmeg. I don't think it's clove.
But there's definitely a light sourdough pumpernickel. On there. Caramel explosion.
Yeah.
Maybe not quite a bomb, but a caramel explosion.
Yes. Yeah,
that's nice. That's nice.
Yeah, it's almost like spice cake. But with a little bit of chocolate somehow. Like I still think chocolate's on the finish too.
There's a lot of char on the finish. There's a lot of barrel char on the finish. At first I was thinking, is that pepper? Is that rye spice? I think that's straight barrel char. That is single barrel char on the finish. Because you don't get that with a blended batch. Two different things there. You don't get that with a blended, and you don't get that in a batched.
That makes sense. It's almost got a little bit of
creme brulee.
I was thinking on the finish, like pineapple-y, coconutty, banana-y.
Banana. Maybe a banana Foster's kind of a thing.
Yeah, there you go. On the finish, not so much on the palate.
I'd say late palate
Foster
into the finish, and there's definitely some pepper on the finish, like black, white, and red. All the peppercorns.
Okay.
I like this a lot. Faith, leave us a comment. I know you guys love Bardstown. I know you guys have some very, very big opinions about Bardstown. Leave us a comment on this one.
Yeah.
Click subscribe. Click the bell. Click like. Click all the things.
All the things. Just go click happy.
Click.
Yeah.
Click.
Yeah.
But don't click the X in the corner. Just don't do that.
Don't do that. Stay away from that X in the corner. Minimize if you must. Just keep it playing. Keep it going. This is there's a lot going on here across the board.
Yeah. This is a great pickup. I don't know if this is a great, and technically this isn't our first introduction to Bardstown because we did have a pour while we were at the distillery, but I don't know if this our first bottle crack. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing that we start with a cask strength single barrel distillery exclusive when this bottle's gone, it's gone.
Yeah, well, you know what? Stay tuned because we're going to continue. We're going to go through the core.
We have more. We do have more.
We're going to go through the core 4, and we're gonna get.
We also have
a really good impression.
We also have the high wheat.
We have the high wheat.
We have a run of wheated bourbons that I cannot.
We've really been discovering the wheated bourbons, niche or whatever in the whiskey world, and we're really enjoying it. What wheated bourbons have to offer.
I think wheated bourbons specifically are my jam. I love bourbons in general, but I really think wheated bourbons are where my palate is fine-tuned.
And speaking of palate, this one clocks in at 110 proof.
That's not 110 drink.
It doesn't hit like 110 proof. It hits like maybe 96-ish, I say that, but you remember the 4th of July episode? One was that Doc Holliday bourbon, that bottle. That was a 96 proof.
96.
But this one almost drinks lower in that range, not 110, not 100 plus.
But there's no watery elements to this. There's no. If I remember correctly, at one point I said I feel like there's holes in the palate profile.
This one,
there's I mean, it's
holes are
well
filled.
rounded.
Yeah, this is, and for 110, you can hold that on the palate for a long time, swish it around, and really kind of get to know all the little flavors. I'm stuck on bottle presentation. I don't know what to give it. I love that it's got that Barrel B logo everywhere, from top to neck to front label to the punt down here on the bottom. I love the silk screened corn stalk on the back that you can see through the front of the bottle.
It's so cool.
It just looks beautiful. It's elegant. It's simple. It's got a thick bottom on it. Composite cork. Whatever. But it's got a little information here on the side.
Longevity.
Was this for longevity?
Longevity.
Yeah. Was this in your notes here?
I don't know. Let me know.
If it is, please stop me. It says here, a new blend of bourbon makers. I think that's just them, talking about what they do.
Yeah.
Bardstown Bourbon Company is the most technically advanced distillery in the world.
Bold statement, Cotton.
Bold statement. I love Dodgeball. I love that movie. Let's see here. Dip, dodge, duck, dodge, and or whatever.
You can dodge a wrench.
You can dodge what? Oh, poor Justin Long.
Man.
Gar. That's where I got the Gar from, is Pirate Steve. We have a pirate on our team? Let's see. Let's see, in the world. With the capability of producing over 50 custom mash bills, a limited allocation of single barrels were chosen to showcase this variety of recipes. Each of these bottles features a truly unique pour, I would agree with that, and a peek into the modern bourbon experience. So they're calling everybody else old-fashioned, out with the old, in with the new.
We have to go back and schedule a tour.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So we went to the source. We went to the distillery.
Yep.
They have, and I've only seen pictures. I have not been there. But they have a brand new tasting room on Main Street, downtown Louisville.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yep.
All right.
On Whiskey Row. They are there, front and center, present with all the other big boys.
Okay.
The pictures look super cool. It is super modern. It looks like it has all the things. Mm-hmm. We bypassed that because we went to the distillery.
Yeah.
And so the intro, if you remember, I said we're going to get to that. So the day we show up at the distillery, and keep in mind, we were doing a lot of things in a very short time period. But you graciously have pointed out to me several times, and I fully agree, we accomplished and we did a lot in a short time frame.
We did.
But at no point were we really overly rushed.
Perfect. Yeah.
We showed up at the distillery. We just did our thing. We wandered around. We asked questions. We mingled. We talked to security guards.
We did
at Woodford Reserve.
Yeah.
And yeah,
sweet girl.
Had pours. Had a great time, and then we bounced and went down the street to the next one. At no point were we ever overly rushed or felt like we got to get going or anything. But we accomplished a lot in a really short time frame. So anyway, all that to say, the way our schedule landed was we stayed in Bardstown after we were done with, we went to Jim Beam, then we went to, I think if I remember correctly, we went to Maker's Mark. And then we got to our hotel.
The Maker's Mark campus.
We absolutely,
how cool was that?
We have to go back to Maker's Mark.
Definitely, yeah.
That place was so cool. Out of all of the stops we did, Maker's Mark was kind of on an island. It was the one that I felt like was in the middle of nowhere. There was nothing close by it. I lost reception for half the time.
Yeah.
But we got there. The campus, they have art everywhere. They are very art forward. They have a gallery right in the very first
showcase local
piece
art
of it. Yep. And then when you wind down and walk through the campus, which we walked probably out of all the distilleries, getting to the gift shop the gift shop was not in the visitors welcome center.
Right.
The welcome center was the art gallery and the jump off point for the tours and the tasting room. And then you had to just
and the cat.
And the cat. The cat was super cool. But then you had to meander your way through the campus. They had all these was it the cows all over the place, or
they were horses?
Horses.
Yeah.
Cows is a Kansas City thing. Horses is a Kentucky thing.
Hearts are a Kansas City thing.
Hearts are also a Kansas City thing.
He knows.
But anyway, we got to
the whole parade of them.
We got to the gift shop and all the things, which you can dip your own bottle there. We totally should have. No other reason. We got to go back to do that. But I want to do the tour, the full tour also. Yep. That said, the gift shop had so much unique, personalized, one-of-a-kind pieces of artwork that you could buy. They had staves that were hand-painted with different things on them. They had all kinds of things. Super cool campus. I digress. Out of all the stops we didn't spend a whole lot of time there, but we didn't have anything planned to spend a whole lot of time there. So we did what we needed to. We got the stamps. I think we got a few things.
We spent some time there. I mean, it was a long.
Well, path.
We walked a covered bridge.
We walked a lot. That bridge was
the
cool.
gardens hadn't come in yet because it was still early in the spring.
That said, we have to go back there.
Yeah.
But when we left there, we stayed at a hotel there in Bardstown. When we got up in the morning, our very first stop was Bardstown. And we got there, so we didn't get there super late. I think they opened at 9, and I think it was probably 9:30, 9:40 by the time we got there. Yeah, maybe. I think it was probably closer to 9:15 when we got there. The allocation of the day was their cathedral release, and I'm going to come back to that in a second. If you don't know what the
history on that, how cool is that?
But we got inside, they asked, and they're like, yeah, no, we don't have any, and we were super bummed, but they were like, but, if it makes you feel any better, there was a line that started at 6 a.m., and there was 65 plus people in line that early before they opened,
and they only had 60.
Was it 60? I thought it was 40 bottles.
Was it 40? Okay, in my head it was 60.
Maybe it was 60, and there was 80 people in line, but anyway. There was more people in line than they had actual bottles for. So even if we would have gotten there right when they opened, we would have already been too late. Because on this trip, I think if we would have planned for it and talked about it and hyped ourselves up, sure, we could have absolutely done a 6 a.m. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Kind of
hurrah. We didn't know until we knew.
But yeah, we didn't know what we didn't know, and I didn't know. Our first time there, I didn't know how their allocations work. I didn't know if there would even be an allocation.
Right.
Thanks to Faith and Tim, I had heard that there are allocations sometimes, and so it was a possibility.
So that's hit and miss.
Huh? But I was like, oh, okay. So we tried to get there as close to opening as possible. I think we would have been there right as they were opening, if my GPS hadn't have taken us to Heaven Hill. I mean, straight up to the doorsteps of Heaven Hill.
That was so weird.
I was like, yeah.
And I'm over there running the GoPro. It's like,
anyway.
Elijah Craig? They make Elijah Craig? They don't make Elijah Craig.
So we get there, and as we're pulling the parking lot, we're seeing a lot of people leaving with their bags and all that, and smiles.
Some of them are like holding the cathedral case.
I had not at that point. I had not realized. I don't think I realized till after we got back. But the cathedral release was a 375 bottle.
Oh, okay.
But the packaging for it is that beautiful stained glass thing. But if you don't know, Bardstown released a cathedral release. The cathedral piece of that was not that long ago when
was it? Like 2019, 2016?
Somewhere around there. When the fire that happened that burnt down a good portion of Notre Dame, when they started the reconstruction of that, the forest that they that they picked to source the wood to reproduce and rebuild as close to the original as possible. Mm-hmm. Bardstown happened to get their hands on just enough of that French oak that they did not use. Mm-hmm. They turned it into barrels and put their distillate in the barrels of the Notre Dame wood that was used in that restoration and aged. I'm pointing to this bottle. It is not this bottle at all, but
pointing to the brand more than the bottle. Yeah.
But anyway, that their cathedral release was finished and aged in these French oak barrels that was made from the wood left over from the restoration of the Notre Dame Cathedral.
And I mean, that is quick thinking. That's like, hey, you guys got any extra?
That's a once in a lifetime.
Extra lumber hanging out from your construction project.
You don't. That's an opportunity that does not yield itself a second time.
No, that's like past once in a lifetime. That's past once in a generation. That's like once in a millennia. Bardstown had the foresight to look that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And look at that kind of thing, and go, you know what? This is an opportunity. Let's take it. Thank you. Yes. I'll take a small pour. And let's take advantage of this and like really make something super unique.
To get your hands on super that?
Unique. Yeah.
Good night.
Yeah, of course you're going to be there at 6 a.m. when they open at 9.
Now that I know all these things, next time, get your ass out of bed. We got places to go.
Yeah, we got somewhere to be. I'll sleep in a tent. I don't care. What do I care? I sleep like crap anyway. But yeah, back to this bourbon here. It's a single barrel.
Oh man!
And it may have been proofed down. We don't know. Do we know?
It's cask strength.
Cask strength. So
it's single barrel cask strength.
That wasn't on my notes there. Cask. I got to write that down.
It's 110 cask strength.
Strength. Bardstown.
And it's single barrel.
Single barrel. Distillery exclusive. Cask strength.
As Ben Holiday says, it's one barrel.
One barrel.
They don't call that offering single barrel. That is their one barrel offering.
That's it. That's what they do. KC.
Single one.
KC. Well, North KC, Weston, whatever.
It's KC to me.
Here's to everybody watching. From KC to Bardstown.
This is Kentucky straight bourbon.
Yeah.
Whereas Ben Holiday is real Missouri bourbon. Mm-hmm. If you don't know, that is a legal distinction.
Yep. Just like American Single Malt.
2019.
A distinction here.
2019, real Missouri bourbon became a distinction.
And Kansas City whiskey became a distinction as well. Did they make a Kansas City whiskey?
They did not.
Ben Holiday?
No, they did not.
Okay. So we talked about Union Horse. We've been to Union Horse.
To my knowledge,
they don't make a Kansas City whiskey either.
To my knowledge, West Bottoms and Riggers is our two Casey whiskey producers.
I wonder if we could talk Union Horse into doing something special. Our tour guide Damien, he said
our tour guide and co-founder.
He mentioned doing a maple cask finished, whiskey of some sort. And I'm like, no. Bring me that honey. I have a sweet tooth from hell, and I love honey. But
I'm torn.
West Bottoms did the maple cask finished rye, and it was amazeballs.
So Union Horse has been doing their reunion, which is their rye line. They did a port cask as their most recent one, which is becoming a standard offering, year-round offering. Nice. We're ahead of the curve on that one.
Yep.
Thanks, Sean, putting us in contact.
Yep.
But yeah, if they were to do that, I would venture a guess the Reunion brand would be the one. Their rye would be the one that would get a honey cask, and I'd be okay with that.
I think honey Pairs well with anything kind of spice.
Their bourbon,
is
so
good.
fantastic.
It is really good.
I'm looking up here. I actually don't have the bourbon on the shelf.
Yeah. That blend.
That's because our bottle's empty. Whoopsie.
Whoopsie daisy. You know what? Let's get back into the Bardstown here. We got this Bardstown single barrel cask strength.
Distillery exclusive.
Yeah. Origin right here. Oh.
What did you give this on the nose?
On the nose, I gave it a 4.5. I was wowed. I was impressed. I was very happy with it.
You're copying off me, aren't you?
Nope. You go back in the editing room floor, pick up all the little pieces that you snipped off of the film, check it and see. Did I look over at your scores? Nope.
I gave it 4.5.
4.5. Easy peasy. Yeah, for me anyway. I mean, we had caramel. I dropped the dill and clove thing, brown sugar, molasses. There was a bit of a grassy kind of malt thing going on there. Mm-hmm. I picked up some chocolate, milk chocolate, he thought. Yep. Vanilla, of course, was there, and some barrel char was there. I thought maybe on the nose, and tell me if I'm crazy, like, does that chili pepper thing come back? Like the Hatch chili pepper or the maybe Serrano or something. I don't know.
Maybe it's there. Know.
Well, that brings us to palate. What'd you give it on the palate?
I went up some.
Some?
Mm-hmm.
So did I.
I went up to 4 3/4.
4 3/4. I went up to 5, dude. I was like, this.
Bam!
This is so effing good. Like, this was.
It is good. It's really, really good.
Zero complaints. I mean, sourdough, pumpernickel, coriander, cinnamon, nutmeg, caramel explosion. Maybe not a bomb, but an explosion. It had a little bit of the spiciness that you would expect from the rye. And I picked up maybe a little bit of the Bananas Foster thing going on. And actually, no, I picked that up on the finish, which we'll get to in a second. But the finish, and you said, you know what, that's actually late palate into early finish, where Bananas Foster comes in. And, well, speaking of finish, I gave it a 4 3/4. How about you?
Oh, damn. Girls, same.
Yeah, all right.
I'm right there with you.
There was we just said, the Bananas Foster. There's you picked up the peppercorns, the tricorn blend, right? The black, the white, the red.
Which I'm a fan of.
Yeah.
Aesthetically and taste-wise.
Yeah, taste-wise, where you can't go wrong with that. For me, I think the chocolate carried through, like that milk chocolate, that carried through. You said it's got a bit of that single barrel char, which is distinct, and I
really feel you don't get type of
no complaints.
You really don't get that level and that type of char in anything that's been batched or blended.
Yeah. Blended whiskeys, blended bourbons, while they are very tasty, and I'm a big fan of them. I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah,
absolutely right. So that brings us to bottle presentation. We have never done a Bardstown bottle.
I wrestled with this one.
I did too, and it brought my score lower and lower.
Yeah,
and I really thought it would be.
I really wanted to give it a little bit better, but
I like
also
the simple design. I like the screen printed corn on the back that shows up through the bottle. You love that.
I love the printing on the backside, because the idea is it becomes part of the labeling.
Yes.
You can see it through the distillant as kind of a shadow, kind of an image back there. I think that is it's design perfection.
I like
it's great.
The peel around thing, you
took the top off, and then it's also gold.
It's a better version of what I just peeled off the top.
It is a better version.
Speaking of the top, look at the bottom. It's a heavy bottom which I love. I love a heavy bottom whiskey glass, a heavy bottomed bottle, a heavy bottomed girl, goth chick, whatever, and it's got the barrel B down here on the bottom.
It makes the world go round.
Yeah, it's
the rockin' world go round.
You make the rockin' world go round.
Get on your bike and ride.
Down, 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 Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, I'm air guitaring. My girlfriend told me never air guitar. But I do it all the time. I'm me. What am I supposed to do? I'm me.
What are you supposed to do?
Yeah. Anyway, so
in your defense, I've never seen you do that on stage, so I think you're off the.
I have. I have.
Well, I'm usually in my own.
I try not to. Definitely.
I'm in my own little world when I'm on stage.
I try not to, and the closer the crowd is, the easier it is to disguise. Because like I'm on the wireless, march right into that crowd, do the Rob Zombie thing, and just have a good time with it.
You're burning through the ditches.
Yeah. And slam in the back of my Dracula. We're bringing it back here.
You know.
So bottle presentation, we talked about it a little bit. We talked about it a lot. For me, in my score, it's kind of a lower score, 375.
Wow. Okay.
That's what I'm missing. I'm missing the wow. Okay. I'm missing the wow. And like from there, I'm like, well, it's got things that others don't.
And see, my perspective is...
But it's got
the wow,
a lot of things that others do.
The wow is there because of how minimum it is. It's not showboating. It's not giving you 6-shooter pistols and racehorse jockeys and all the things.
And bags and boxes.
But it's a simple one color silkscreen printing on the backside, letting you know, hey,
there's a lot of corn.
There's a lot of corn in here. It's even printed on the backside of the label. But that elegant, just nice, slow taper down. I mean, you just want to it tapers down.
Slow taper. It's a little shouldered.
It's shouldered. It's nice and rounded. And it's rounded side to side, top to bottom. The punt
into
on the
bottom.
Heavy bottom.
I love the punt detail.
The punt has the barrel on the bottom of it.
Yep.
The wrapper on here has the B logo.
Yep.
All the way around there. I gave it a 4.5.
4.5? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Nothing wrong with a 4.5. Like
I could not legitimately give it any higher than that, but I thought, to me, it's a very modern looking bottle. It is very modern looking. It is not a Rebel Yell bottle.
Definitely not.
It's not a standard
1800s.
Yeah.
The 1900s.
It's got the short neck on there, but it's elongated, so it's got the tall shouldered, and then it's just a nice slow. It's square. Yep. It's a rounded square bottle that slow tapers down to the heavy bottom on there, and I loved it. So I gave it 4.5.
And that's fine. Like we've said 100 times before, or maybe even 120 times before, depending on what number this episode turns out to be. But these numbers are just our thoughts, our idea, our 0 to 5. And going back to it, the rating system 0 to 5, 4 categories: nose, palate, finish, bottle presentation. Right? We add those up to a possible 20. Divide that by 2, and that's how we get our 0 to 10 rating. That's how we come up with it. And my palate is my palate. W2's palate is W2's palate. Your palate is your palate. You're not supposed to agree.
Dig what you dig.
Dig what you dig. Yeah, thank you.
Like
Corey
what
Taylor.
you like.
Yeah, like what you like. Your palate is not supposed to be my palate, our palate, whatever. So if you've had this and have differing thoughts, please let us know. Drop a comment, send us an email. So all that to say, I added my score up 4.5, 5, 4 3/4, 3 3/4. Added up, divided by 2. I came out with an even 9. How about you?
I'm not that far off of you. I'm 9 1/4.
9 1/4.
Which puts us in
under
a half a bit.
Yeah, according to our friend Phil Mitchum,
which is a quarter point
extraordinaire. A quarter point, yeah, that's not bad at all. So, have you gotten into Bardstown? Do you know anything about anything regarding Bardstown? Please let us know. Like we said a second ago, drop it in the comments or send us an email, info@savortheburn.com, W2 at savortheburn.com. Jonathan at savortheburn.com. I would love to hear what you guys have to say about what Bardstown has to offer. I just I really enjoyed this one. I really enjoyed the Origin number 11 pour that we had at the distillery. I love the distillery grounds were really cool, and the people, the employees, they were very personable, especially there in the gift shop.
And stay tuned because their high wheated bourbon is coming soon.
It's coming. It's coming. We're
really
gonna get into that, and it's gonna get into us. And we're going to have a good time. Hopefully, you'll be there with us. So,
ballyhoo!
Throw it back to West Bottoms Whiskey Company. So, that just smells so amazing. So, no matter who you are, where you are, what you're drinking, and who you're drinking it with, never forget,
Keep on burning.